know what time it is.
You know what it is.
Welcome to the Culture Podcast.
Welcome to the Culture Podcast. A podcast inspired by and representing for the culture.
Just been a fan of the culture and the authenticness of it.
Everything from hip-hop.
What's up, y'all? This is J. Cole.
Yo, it's Ice Spice.
It's Kendrick Lamar.
It's the baby.
Sports.
Mahomes looking to flip, takes it in for the touchdown.
Urban life.
It's heat up right now.
And everything in between.
Let's go.
The show starts now with your hosts, Jeff and Anthony.
Yo, we are back. Welcome to another episode of The Culture. It's your boy Jeff, my man Ant.
Hello.
2024 is here.
2024. We in February.
Right. Did we do an episode in January?
Yeah.
All right, so this is the first episode of February.
Yeah.
All right, well, happy Black History Month, brother.
Why? Thank you. I already told you it's kind of weird that you have like.
Is that racist?
No, not really. Just
So
you
like
got
text your friends like, yo, happy Black History Month.
Kind of, because like, how many friends do you know have ever sent you a text saying happy Hispanic Heritage Month?
Never, not one.
Exactly. And like we always gotta feel special as Black people. Like, hey man, y'all got y'all month. Congratulations.
Yeah, but we don't even get days off for our month. Y'all motherfuckers get days off. Well, in some companies, like my company, they'll give us like Juneteenth off. They'll give us like Martin Luther King off. You know what I'm saying? There's a few days off in February too that we'll get. We don't get shit for Hispanic heritage.
You get President's Day off, but everybody
Shit
does.
to do with Latinos.
Are you trying to tell Latinos they need to step it up?
We probably need to start advocating and get some days off.
But
The problem is there's so many of us, you know what I'm saying? If they
Right.
give, they're going to have to give us Cinco de Mayo. They're going to have to give every country their Independence Day. Before you know, we got a whole month off.
all they give you all is
We're going to get
parades.
we need an extra 30 days off in the year.
Y'all get parades. That's it. That's it. That's all y'all get. Y'all get parades. Puerto Rican Day parade. Y'all have everyone gets a parade. You don't get a day off. Maybe it's a good thing. I don't know. But the bad thing about February is that you get that one day off probably for President's Day. Because March is a slog, dog. Ain't no days off. Ain't no holidays or nothing. That's just straight. That sucks. I hate that.
But yo, let's shout out the Patreons, the Culture Crew before we get started. Start off first and foremost with D Block, Helwig. Shout out to Melly Mel.
Rewind.
Mm-hmm.
You said you took me up on that bet, right?
No, we'll get to that.
Okay.
Shout out to Taj.
See? No. See, that's how I know we recorded this year. Because of that bet. See?
Right. Oh, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Anonymous, a.k.a. Shall Remain Nameless. Shout out to my man Mikey Shee.
This baby getting big as fuck.
And on purpose, last but not least, this gentleman changed his name again. He does his yearly. So it's no longer King Kaiser III. We are now to refer to this Culture Crew member as Your Excellency Arthur Kaiser, the Chef, featuring D-Block Killer. And since you brought it up, he is the same gentleman that won our fantasy football league. And yes, he did accept your bet that you made on the last episode where you challenged him to $100 a pop for each game that you guys will face each other. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
So he accepts your challenge. We will make sure that you guys are on opposite divisions so that you can meet twice in the season. And y'all can either split 100 or somebody can take home 200. Good luck.
Right. So the league is a league. That's outside of it. So if we split it, nobody wins anything.
Right.
Because you'll win 100, then I will beat you, and then I'll be 100, so everything breaks even. So what we're saying is that your team's going to be so good that you're going to be able to beat me twice, or I'm going to be able to beat you twice. So whatever the shit's going to be on in the league, you get an extra $200 on top of it. I'm cool with that. So that way, it won't be no tiebreakers, no splits, no.
It could be a split.
It could be. It could be. It might be that. But the whole point is that you're not going to have this. It's not going to happen, man. Because either he going to lose twice or I'm going to lose twice. We ain't splitting shit. I feel comfortable saying that. We're not doing that. His team wasn't even that good. That's the bad part. He talking shit. His team wasn't good. He only beat you because your quarterback had a shitty day that day. Outside of that,
He still did. He still finished with more points than me, and he finished with a better record than me.
But okay, so
and he sustained all kinds of injuries, bro. His starting quarterback was Aaron Rodgers. Remember that? He went down right away. And he had to pivot.
And my argument about the whole playoff thing was this: the whole point is to get into the playoffs. What you did in the regular season doesn't matter. If you got in the playoffs with an 8-8 record, like in real life, you got to the playoffs. I don't care what happened around you. You was there. So we're saying the same thing with this. But I expect to make the playoffs, not to say anything bold or something to that degree. Just more in the sense like I've been there a plenty of time and I just haven't won it.
Right.
Even now, same thing. Then the year before, a tragic incident causes that to happen. I'm like, okay, all right, so this is what we're doing, but it's fine, man. So what's today is the 4th of February. Let me make a note of that right now. So we can rewind back to this episode, but I didn't do it. Yes, the fuck you did. We good.
All right, well, before we continue into the topics that we have today, we have some new reviews. It's been a little while since somebody left a review.
All right.
We got 3 of them. I'll read the first one by somebody. It was left on January 3rd by somebody by the name of Fallible Man on Apple Podcasts. So Fallible Man. He says, well done. A little hip for me, but very relevant discussions and topics. The show is well done and has a unique vibe to it. A good conversation. Thank you, Fallible Man. We appreciate you, man.
What's a little hip?
What?
That fella's older. Who the fuck says hip?
He says we're too hip for him, but he still likes the show. I ain't mad at it.
I'm not mad. It's just weird to say. Like, it's just a little bit too swaggy for me. Like,
The next one was left on January 2nd by somebody by the name of C to the N. The letter C, the number 2, the word the, and the letter N. C to the N. On Apple Podcasts as well, they said, date night ideas. This is a fun podcast with some solid information. I appreciated the episode about date night ideas. I think Cheesecake Factory is a good date spot for sure. LOL. Keep up the awesome content in 2024. You remember that episode where we was talking about how shorties didn't want you taking them to the Cheesecake Factory?
Right, but the thing is that it's so many ideas in regards to, like, okay, the thing I don't really like about society is that was a really, really big thing, then it just disappears. Mm-hmm. It's like, what was it?
But that's the era we're living in. This is the microwave era.
Yeah,
you recycle information real quick. You know what I'm saying? You absorb it real quick. Boom. That's why artists have to drop songs weekly. You know what I mean? That's why content creators have to constantly put out shit.
They shouldn't.
It wasn't like that when we was growing up.
I know.
We sat with a book. We sat with a magazine. We sat with an album when it came out, and we, you know what I'm saying? We absorbed it for a month or two, you know what I mean, before the next thing came out. Now it's like, all right, couple minutes, boom, next, on to the next thing.
You know what it is? It's like, you know the whole thing going over the Stanley Cup joint?
No.
Okay. So there is a cup, 40-ounce cup, created by this cup called Stanley. Cup costs about $45.
Oh, yeah.
So
my sister's obsessed with them shits. They're expensive as fuck for no reason.
Right. You can get the same quality cup for same lesser price. It's just an insulated stainless steel mug, right? I read a story.
They have accessories for these shits, too. You could bedazzle them. You could put this on it. You could put a keychain. You could put a cell phone holder, stickers, whatever the fuck. This is crazy.
But I read a story with, I think it might have been in Alabama, where it was a kid whose parents bought him $3,000 worth of cups of all colors and everything else like that, just to have. And I'm like, it's like if someone has like an extensive car collection, you can only drive one car. You can only have one cup. I mean, if you want to put into a bunch of them, but it's like, this is like their Pokemon cards, I guess, which is dumb. Like, because it's a cup, it's not going to create value or anything else like that. But, like, how much different is this than that Popeye's chicken shit? Mm-hmm. Like, when that sandwich came out, like, people's out there actually fighting and getting in, you know, these things over a fucking sandwich. Now they're doing it over, like, a cup. Like, people are rushing stores, asking people, like, it's a cup. Like, the stupid thing about the word viral is that, is there any other point in your life where the word viral means something good's going to happen?
No.
Right. Just this, like, oh, it's going viral. Like, I don't want nothing viral. Trust me. Like, flu, COVID, whatever. I don't want viral. Like, I want that eliminated from my personal lexicon, because the whole idea of saying that this is a thing and it's going to be a thing for now. It disappears. That's why we go back to the date night thing. It disappears. It is something that is a conversation, then it gets wiped away. Kind of same thing with content. I don't listen to podcasts or other shows where there's kind of just doing things for the sake of doing things to kind of keep up in the rumor mill or keep up with the churn of society. It's fine. If you do it as a weekly thing and kind of talk about the week's events, all right, cool. But the thing when people are like, I need to create content, like that's no fun. Now you're just saying stuff to say stuff because you want to get things done. It should be something that creates conversation. Like I would never talk about that Stanley Cup shit here because I just kind of explained it to you. It's kind of stupid, but
well, we're talking about it,
right? I mean, but we're not having like an in-depth discussion about it. Like right. This is a Stanley Cup. This is stupid. Let's move on. Like that. It's fine by me.
And then we have another review by somebody by the name of Anonymous Andrew. All right, Anonymous Andrew. He says, love this podcast. He gave it 5 stars. He says, Jeff and Anthony, all right, dynamic duo in hosting this podcast. Some amazing insights into the hip-hop community and pop culture events. Well, not a hip-hop fan, nor rap, nor do I know the difference. It doesn't matter when listening to this podcast. I found the episode I found the episode with Jada Pinkett Smith very interesting, and also the episode about the list where not to bring your first date. Very well done. These guys are professionals. The audio is done well. The show notes are impeccable. Give this product a listen, as I thought I wouldn't be interested, and now I'm a follower. Good job, guys.
I know we shouldn't like insult the people that are writing these comments.
Thank you.
How much you pay them?
Like, nah, I'm not paying nobody for no reviews, man.
He was like, man, I don't know shit about hip hop, but man,
but I like this shit.
Yeah, because I mean, I guess the date thing kind of stuck because it's like that whole conversation was dumb. Like they had a whole list of places you don't want to go. Okay, just give me a list of the places that you do want to go. And let me take a look at it and see if they're reasonable. Like, what do you want to go for dinner? I want to go to dinner in Dubai. Huh? No. You want a grilled cheese or some shit like that? Let's start at the bottom and work our way up to something else to that degree. It doesn't need to be that. So
you also got to understand that there's people that'll just, whether they're driving, truck drivers, or whatever the case may be, there's people that'll go into, Apple Podcasts or whatever, platform they use and just scroll and try to find something they like. You know what I mean? They'll just listen to podcasts, and there's a lot of them. And then they might stumble upon our shit and be like, this is interesting or whatever. Or it's fun.
We would be so successful in like making money if we were just like far right ring and it was like
oh yeah, for sure,
a black guy and a Spanish guy just talking about the L's or shit. Like I can't stand black people not doing better. Like so you're preaching.
We need
brother.
to vote for Trump. Trump did more for the black community than any politician in history. We'll get hella rating. We'll get hella ratings on some shit like that.
Don't say that because I want your man to come on here and talk his point. So I don't want to seem like
about him. He said he's down to come on around election time. So I guess towards the end of the year.
It's fine. I don't want to be one of the things you start talking that crazy shit. Like, you know what? Because all this stuff with the Mexicans and January 6th, it was all a government plot. And someone just turning it up like, you're preaching it, brother. Like, no, I'm not.
For the integrity of the show, though, I'm going to need you to promise me that you're not going to insult the fucking guest, bro.
I don't.
Irregardless if you agree or disagree with their opinions or views, you know what I mean?
Why do you
not insult our guests, bro?
Why do I have to ask that? Of the guests that we have I insulted any of them?
No, but instead, you've just been silent. The old saying, if you don't got nothing nice to say, don't say nothing. That's usually you when we have a guest that you don't agree with. You just sit there quiet and don't say shit, which doesn't help the show either.
I know, but I be letting guests cook, but then I learned my lesson to start saying shit and interceding. Because remember we had conspiracy dude, that nigga was just yapping, and he just kept going like, bro, like, what did you, like, yo, I understand somebody like, yo, next episode, just like press fast forward, all right. But I think the people don't quite understand that just because you support a particular candidate means I have an issue with you personally or professionally or anywise. This is who you view as you feel should be the leader of this country. I would just like to understand how you got to that point, or what is it that is such a drawing point. I don't think that Biden would be that great of a choice, but I don't have much of another choice. And like I said, he ain't bought my vote yet. He got a couple more months to get the student loan shit taken care of. When you do that, I'm easy. You can buy me. If I see 10 grand.
I can buy your ass, huh?
Bro, you might wait 10 grand a student.
So what if Trump comes and says, you know what, Biden ain't do it, but I'm going to do it. First thing I'm going to do is erase student debt. You going to vote for him?
Maybe.
God damn.
because we don't really vote. I don't vote along party lines. Everyone votes along their self-interest. Everyone.
That's a fact. Well, not everyone. Not everyone. I'll correct. I think most people do. The majority of Americans do.
The mayor in your town, right? And a lot
of people do not.
All right. So the mayor of Clifton, like, I'm running on this campaign where I'm going, like, and you might not like the guy personally at all. Might think the person running for office is a terrible human being. They say, I think we need to do something to switch this economy. So what we're going to do, we're going to raise taxes by 8%. But what we're going to do is give every person that lives in the city of Clifton a $500 monthly stipend for the next 12 months, just to see if that helps them out. Would you sign up for that?
How much are they going to give?
$500 a month.
To every resident.
Per person. Not per household. Per person.
To help offset the increase in taxes.
Right, because we're going to raise taxes, but what we want to do is that we want to try to stimulate the economy.
I feel like that's what them stimulus checks are. I feel like that's what Biden and Trump did with the stimulus checks and every other president. They send us those the little money to keep us happy for a little bit.
Right, but that was $1,400.
But we dealing with inflation and tax increases and the housing fucking market.
Right, but that's $1,400 for a year. So $500 per person for 12 months, $6,000 a person.
Oh, you mean a month? Every month?
Right.
I think I'm gonna sign up for that.
$500 a month for the next 12 months.
Yeah, that'll definitely offset the increase in taxes.
Right. We're going to run a program because I think most people are aware that if they give you that money, you're not going to save it. You're probably going to spend the shit, which is
they want to put it right back into the economy.
They want to stimulate the economy, right? So basically, it's like a gift card. Mm-hmm. It's like having a gift card to Target. If I give you this gift card, you can't spend the shit nowhere else. You got to spend it at Target, but it would influence your vote, right?
Yes.
Right. So we all have our own self-interest. The things that speak towards us, the things that we want to do. If you have children, if someone's speaking about childcare, you want to have that. If you live in a dangerous neighborhood, someone's speaking about, law and order or, better utilization of the police or decreasing violence, it'll speak to you. They all speak to you in some way. You got to figure out which message you want to take forward. So the person that is a Trump supporter, I won't have a problem with them at all. I just want to understand what is the perspective you're seeing us at that believes that this person should be the leader of this country, not of a town, but of the country. That's all. So of course,
I've met minority Trump supporters. I've never, besides this one gentleman that I want to get on, I've never actually spoken to a black Trump supporter.
One of my cousins is.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Hey, we could get them on the show too. Shit.
And we don't.
I'm curious to hear. You know what I'm saying? Like their opinions, their reasoning, their logic.
And we don't see eye to eye on it at all. But that don't mean I love them any less. We just have that conversation. I'm like, okay, help me understand. Okay, but what about this? But we try to do it in the sense of a conversation. I'm not sitting here Googling shit like, oh, but he said this or did that. Like, help me see it from your view. It don't mean I'm going to agree with it, but I want to understand.
Maybe we could get both of them on at the same time.
Yeah, he available.
So it don't seem like we're ganging up on them. You know what I mean? It's like there could be two of them. We just want to prick their brain.
You're being.
I'm not going to insult nothing. I just want to understand. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think what people don't quite grasp is that there are people out there that are real assholes about this and get real sideways. I mean, like, I don't want to argue with you. I just want to understand. Mm-hmm. And if I can get that, and in the end, we can still disagree. That's fine. But I still want to see what is your perspective on this. What am I missing from what you're saying and what you're doing that I'm not grasping? And once they do so, like, okay, I get it. I still disagree, but I now understand your perspective. Doesn't mean I dislike you as a person. Just want to get a better grasp of all this. You know what I mean?
All right. Well, let's move along, man. Rest in peace to my man Carl Weathers. Just passed away a couple days ago, aka Apollo Creed. To me, he's always going to be known as Apollo Creed. If you're a Mandalorian fan, he's going to be known to you as Greef Karga. Did I say that right? He was also Dylan in The Predator. No last name. He was just Dylan.
Dylan, you son of a bitch.
You son of a bitch. And it was the most explosive handshake in the history of cinema.
That's the most masculine handshake in the history of handshakes.
Of all time.
Like, and the thing is, who shakes hands like that? Like, forearm grasp. Like, Dylan, you son of a bitch.
And then you see the two steroid ass arms brolic, and the camera just closes up on him for like 3 seconds.
And they just arm wrestling in midair. Like, this is weird.
This shit was goofy as hell.
So Greef Karga, Creed, depending on what age you are, if you're probably black.
He's in the new Gronkowski commercials with the Super Bowl.
He was Action Jackson.
Mm-hmm. He was a good actor, though, man.
And he was funny because he was great, Happy Gilmore.
He was a good actor. I think he made that Rocky series, bro. Like, he wasn't even supposed to be the Apollo. It was supposed to be a boxer. What was his name? Norton.
Yeah, Ken Norton.
Ken Norton was supposed to do it. That shit wouldn't have been right.
Ken couldn't act. That's why they didn't do it.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
And then I saw a thing that Sylvester Stallone said he regretted killing Apollo.
That's always been the knock on the Rocky franchise. Like, I feel like he killed everybody off too quickly. Like, every movie, somebody gets killed off.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But he said that when he regretted, he thought, like, maybe Drago wins but beats the living hell out of him. But he's like,
leave him disabled or something.
Right. He disabled or something else like that, so he becomes his Mickey. Like that. But then the Creed franchise doesn't work out if he's alive.
Yeah, but also I think they've dropped the ball by not being able to utilize him in the Creed franchise. I would have loved to see Carl Weathers more involved in the Creed franchise, whether as, flashbacks, Michael B. Jordan is having a dream and he comes out, in his dreams and give him advice, or he just, he sees his ghost, somewhat like the way Rocky used to always see Mickey, right? Mickey used to always come up on Rocky and give him advice, and, he would always talk to him in his mind or whatever the fuck, right? So if they did something like that in Creed, where Michael B. Jordan is going through some, and then you see Carl Weathers comes out and give his son advice, like, look, my son, I wasn't in your life, but I'm here now in the afterlife, and this is what you got to do, you know what I'm saying? Shit like that.
They don't do it, but they kind of do it, and that's like, so there's 3 Creeds, right?
Yeah.
Right. So They kind of do it in the first one, and that's like, of all the scenes in all the Creeds, is my favorite one.
But all they do is show a picture of him.
I know, but when he gets dropped, it's like he hears his mother talking. You see the picture's file, he just like snaps out of it. He's like, right. And just wakes up like that's the thing. I want to beat him, but I want to supersede him.
Right.
He finally had this clear vision of Apollo, because like I said, he never saw. I mean, outside of video, he never really saw his father fight in the ring.
Right.
But in the moment he needed him most, he sees his father pop up and just like snaps back to life. Like, oh, now he's alive. Like, yeah, that's great. But yeah, Carl Weathers was.
I mean, I don't know what the beef was between Carl Weathers and Stallone, why he couldn't use none of his footage, because he didn't want him using none of his footage. So one picture is all they show in the entire Creed franchise.
Stallone really, Stallone really be on some bullshit though. He really like I'm glad 3 he's not in it at all. Like, you don't really need to be the centerpiece of this shit. Like as a franchise, you move forward without you. Because you're old. How much more Rocky do you want? Because if you wanted it,
he could still be the trainer, though. I mean, Mickey was his trainer, and Mickey was old as fuck. Mickey was like 80 years old, still training Rocky.
He was, but the keys to the movie was always Rocky.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like I said, Mickey dies too.
Right.
Everyone in Rocky. Mick's dead. Apollo's dead. His wife's dead. His brother-in-law's dead. Only person alive is his son and his grandson. Grandsons. Grandchildren, let's say that.
And they don't even showing him that much.
Yeah,
he ain't even cool with his son like that.
No, it just popped up at the end of 2. Like, he just went to go see his grandkids and shit like that. That was it. Like, it's just not it's a franchise that should let go forward. I'm like, I don't know how. Like, I know the idea is maybe getting the daughter involved, but I'm like, and I don't want to really sound sexist about this, but no one's really interested in watching.
Well, they opened the door for that in the last one, right?
I know. And I'm just saying, understanding the kind of general masculinity of a male audience, they're really not going to want to watch 2 women box. I think it's a great idea in theory, because like I said, he's supposed to be retired, then he kind of moves it forward.
And the thing is, Apollo Creed's character is based off of Muhammad Ali.
Mm-hmm.
He's Muhammad Ali, basically. Mm-hmm. The shit talker showman. He was fast as a motherfucker, nice as hell in the ring. And he gives a chance to this dude who almost beats him, you know what I'm saying? And makes a name for himself. In real life, Muhammad Ali has a daughter who's a boxer. Mm-hmm. In the movie, he has a son. Now the son has a daughter. You know what I mean? Who's going to eventually become a boxer. Yeah,
because Apollo Creed was the dancing destroyer, the Count of Montefisto. My favorite name, the Count of Montefisto. That's dope. It's like, but there's a whole thing. He's based off of him. But I never really liked Rocky because it seemed unrealistic. Because, like I said, I used to box a little while. The whole idea of someone taking that kind of punishment and still being alive, nah.
He had like 10 tag names. Was it like the Sultan of Swat or some shit?
The dancing destroyer, the Count of Montefisto. Like, he's running them all off while he's facing Drago.
Right.
He had like 8 names. I'm like, y'all still ain't finished yet? He's like, didn't you have enough names? Like,
dude came out with fucking, who's the dude he came out with?
Apollo? Apollo came out with Rocky.
I'm saying, who was performing when he came out?
Oh, James Brown.
He comes out with James Brown, comes out with like 10 different nicknames, and again gets killed in like 2 rounds. That's
it was the King of Sting, the Dancing Destroyer, the Prince of Punch, the Count of Monte Cristo, and the Master of Disaster.
Nah, I think you're missing something. I think there was like the Sultan of something.
I don't care. Those are great names.
Yeah, they are. Those are good ass names, bro.
Those are great names, man. And like I said, I remember him. That's probably second for what I remember him for. I remember him mostly probably from Happy Gilmore. I'm sorry, just having Chubbs, the guy with the wooden hand, it's hilarious to me. It doesn't get funnier. Spoken like a true asshole. You're trying to teach Happy how to golf. Like, it's stupid. Just tapping in.
All right, so let's stay to sports. We got the Super Bowl coming up in a couple weeks, and we got to do our Super Bowl predictions.
Do we?
But also, I find it funny that, I mean, we're excited for Usher doing the halftime, and I would have definitely much rather see him than Taylor Swift. But Taylor Swift was the NFL's first choice when they were calling up people to see who wanted to participate in the Super Bowl halftime. They called her first because besides Bad Bunny, she is, the most popular artist in the world. Is that safe to say?
Fair enough.
She turns it down, right?
Which I would have too.
Nah, fuck yeah, I'm not doing it.
Which I would have too.
Proceeds to start dating Travis Kelce, tight end of the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City Chiefs are now in the Super Bowl again.
Thank you, Patrick.
We're going to see her now in the Super Bowl. Anyways.
She's going to be the biggest story because the reason
right.
Her getting there is the biggest story because she has a performance, I think, in Japan. So she would have to leave that performance after it's done.
The day before, right?
To literally fly. She had the basically helicopter from wherever she's performing to the airport. From the airport to fly over to Las Vegas. It's easier because it's on the West Coast, so it's easier for her to get there to try to make it in time for the Super Bowl. So don't be surprised if you see like a Taylor watch, like Taylor's performing in Japan. Yep. Taylor's leaving now. Taylor's on the private jet. Taylor's heading. Oh,
she's here, folks.
And I get it. And I get it. I understand. Because she's the most popular star in the world. Because we would do the same thing if it was Michael Jackson. If Michael Jackson really were like, I don't know. Let's say Michael Jackson's cousin happened to be a running back for some team making the Super Bowl. If he said, this is my family member, I really want to be there and I'm going to do this, we would do the same thing because that's the level that she's on. Mm-hmm. We might not want to admit that.
Doesn't make it any less cringe, though.
It doesn't, but the whole thing is like that. This is the world that we live in. We're entertained by these things of not her being there, but just the process of her being there. Like it's what it's like. You know how around Christmas time they always have the thing with the Santa tracker.
Yeah,
you can see exactly where he's at, just watching the thing. It'll be that. Clearly, it'll be that, and it's fine because we have to be entertained somehow. Because this game seems like it's going to be pretty fucking boring. It's not anything against the teams. Like Patrick Mahomes is just that good. He's just there all the time. You know what it is? Because you don't dislike him. When the Patriots made it, you really wanted Brady to lose, but Patrick's like
I just need people to slow down with this narrative that he's already the best quarterback of all time. Like, let's relax. Okay, he's been in 3 Super Bowls. You know what I mean? He's really good for his age. The things that he's doing at his age, are unprecedented. But let's wait, you know what I mean? Let's wait another 10, 15 more years before we have this discussion. I'm not ready to put him above Peyton Manning or Tom Brady. You know what I mean? I'm just not ready to do that.
Oh, I'm only putting him behind Brady right now. That's it.
Of all time.
Yeah. I'm not even the stats guy, but look at the stats.
Yeah, I know. I've seen him. They're stupid.
What is this? This is his 6th year. This is his 4th Super Bowl.
And he got like what? How many playoff wins? Like something like 14?
Something like that. And that's the whole thing.
I think Peyton Manning in his whole career had 14.
Bruh, you got it.
It's impressive. It's impressive. But you also have to account longevity means something. You know what I'm saying? Like I hear people when I argue people about the LeBron and Jordan debate, they tell me that, LeBron has played 20 years. And I'm not taking that away from him. Yes. Part of being one of the greatest is showing up to work. You know what I mean? Like you got to show up. And yeah, LeBron gets points for being good for 20 straight years. But I'm not gonna take shit away from Jordan because he retired 3 different times because he got so bored with the fucking sport that he had to leave because there was no competition for him. You know what I mean? But yeah, you got to take everything into account: longevity, stats, championships. As much as people want to say, nah, you can. Championships plays a big role in whether you're considered a GOAT or not.
Mm-hmm. It does. It shouldn't, but it does. But it kind of comes down to the fact that it's his 4th Super Bowl in 5 years, and guys take forever.
Mm-hmm.
Like
that's fact.
Dan Marino never got there. What?
But you also got to remember, it's a team sport. Can you tell me that in his first 5 years, he hasn't had a better team than like Brady did his first 5 years or Peyton Manning did his first 5 years?
But that's why this one is the most impressive because this is probably the worst team of them all. That offense sucks.
Travis Kelce's the best tight end in the whole game.
But he didn't do much. Like I said, they only scored 17 against Baltimore. Baltimore shot themselves in the foot because they stopped running the ball.
Right. So that's a negative against Mahomes.
No,
he didn't do shit the second half of that game.
It didn't matter. We got here. Like, y'all got to self-destruct. And I don't know what it is about facing him. They just kind of fall apart. But they didn't do anything. Like, I'm not faulting Patrick Mahomes. Because the whole thing is that he goes to Super Bowl. It's not like on the other side, he's facing the same team again. The NFL silico. Like, Detroit hasn't made it that far in 30-plus years. And Baltimore has been in and out. All the other teams have had some kind of turnover change. The only thing that's happened with Kansas City is that it's been Andy Reid, it's been Patrick Mahomes. That's it. And they've been there 4 out of 5 times. It's hard to argue against it.
So let's go with our prediction. Who you got?
49ers.
I got the Niners too. You said all that shit just to say you got the 49ers.
No, I'm saying that man been there 4 times in 5 years. I think they're going to lose this year if everybody healthy. I think
I got the 49ers
for a long time.
I got the 49ers. I think their defense is going to come through.
You know what the biggest problem is? They coach. Because they coach, he get cute the wrong fucking time. Remember, that's the same coach that blew a 23 lead to New England. If you up 25 points, all you do is run the ball second half. You just got to fall out. He get too cute. And I don't want him to get cute this time. You got playmakers, get him the ball. Don't do nothing. I got the
Niners, and I think it'll be a low-scoring game. You know what I mean? Like, couple possessions. Let me see what score. If I had to predict the score,
I say 24-17.
That's fair.
Because that defense good, but I don't think it's keeping Patrick out of the end zone. And I think the Niners just has enough on defense and got way more weapons on offense that they should be able to get the job done.
Are we excited about Usher? Yo, what happens if Usher fucks around and brings Taylor Swift on stage real quick? I don't think it would happen because that would take off the shine off of him. But you imagine that shit?
I could imagine, but it's not going to happen because you remember the thing I told you about how much it paid to perform the Super Bowl.
And she's not going to perform 2 nights in a row, especially for free.
Exactly. That's why she's not. If she does the Super Bowl halftime show, they're going to have to pay her
a lot.
Because I'm doing concerts where, like, from ticket sales, I'm probably making like $5 million a night. Like, it's a lot. I mean, that's just tickets and merchandise and all this. It's a lot. So y'all think you're going to get me to do this here for free for what you would consider free advertising? She don't need that. She fine. That's never going to happen. So. Nah, I ain't doing that. You can't. It's his show. They're talking all this time. He's been in Vegas all this time. He's one of the biggest acts in Vegas. They're having it in Las Vegas. It's his time to shine. I hope he puts on a good show. I know he only has like 14 minutes, so I don't know how he gonna blend this all together.
I figured out. I'm looking forward to it. But yo, let's wrap up, man. I want to ask you.
Looking forward to them fucking commercials, whatever the fuck it might be.
I'm gonna ask you, bro. We haven't had a guest on besides Mikey Shee. I don't even consider him a guest no more. He's just a resident member of the show now. You feel me? Like an actual guest an actual interview. We haven't had one in a while. It's been a minute.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I got some guests lined up. I want to hear from the people though. If they prefer, us shooting the breeze, or if they want to hear some interviews. You know what I mean? They want to hear us interviewing people and have some guests come on. Mm-hmm. Hit us up. I have a bunch of guests lined up, so maybe we start doing that pretty soon, bringing some people on the show. The problem with having guests is that, you know what I mean, the timetables never line up. You know what I mean? Yeah. Either we can't do it the days they can, or they can't do it the days we can, or the hours that we, you know what I mean? The time of the day, it becomes the whole logistics shit. Mm-hmm. And you would think that the fact that it's remote, it'd be easier. Because some people just do like in-person interviews. I'm like, nah, bro, just hop on the computer. We do this shit remotely, man.
Niggas no goddamn studio. Fuck you. Hop on. No, fuck you.
You know what I mean? So, but we'll get it sorted out. We're going to start having some guests on, man. All types of different guests, diversify our portfolio for 2024.
You sure about that?
Yes.
All right. I'm going to take this shit a whole different route when they come on, but no problem.
Again, as long as you don't insult.
I'm not going to insult.
Tarnish the integrity of the program.
I'm not going to insult nobody or tarnish the integrity of the program, but they're going to start yapping. I'm like, yo. Next point. Let's wrap it up. I still got my wrap it up box. Yep, I do. Right over there.
All right, man.
I don't mind it. Let's have them on. They want to talk. Bring something quality to the table. Pitch your shit. Then get into the conversation. That's it. Don't be like, well, I was da. State your point. This is what the conversation's about. We brought you here to talk about this conversation. Then we go forward from there. Because every time we get somebody on, they just start yapping about the shit they're doing. Like, all right, cool. Like, do that. We're going to clear the base for you. Take your first 2 minutes. Tell us about who you are, what's your project, da. Then we have a point. We want to talk to you about that point. Because if you talk to, again, like, let's say you want to talk to someone about, like, gender and sexuality. Like, all right, tell us your platitudes, and this is the thing that we're talking about. What's your opinion on it? Because when they just get the yapping, I'll be like, yo, just tune me out. So it's not that I got a problem with guests. It's more in the sense that when they start blah, 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 yap. I'm like, don't really care for that because you're just rambling on. I want you to have a particular question that you would like to ask that you figured that they would be interested in talking about. It'd be fine. As a matter of fact, it would have been perfect if we had a woman who either agreed or disagreed with the whole date thing. And it's kind of got her perspective on it. Like, this is what's going on. Like, how do you feel about this thing? Whether agree or disagree, then have that conversation about that. But if we're going to be rambling on about the project you're doing, I don't care.
All right, man. Leave the people off with some final words, man, for the culture.
It is Black History Month. Mm-hmm. It's one of those things that we kind of regrettably take for granted about things that are important. You have to realize that during this month, and I want you to take your time and think about it. I want you to, walk into your bedroom, and I want you to just take a look around, and I want you to see everything that Black culture has influenced. From manner of dress, your clothes, the things you watch, the things you wear, the items you buy. Like, we are ingrained inside of this. And it's good to always have a month to kind of know and have some kind of reflection about the impact and importance that we have in this culture. Should we have monetized it better? Sure. But that's a conversation for another day. But this is a moment of appreciation to realize all that Black culture has done for America, and that you should always pay homage to those that came before you, pay attention to the trends because we're the ones that create them, and realize that this is a month for celebration of all cultures, but specifically ours. Just give us our due respect and our time. You got 11 more months to yourself, but just let us show you the great things that we've done, great things we've done for the society, and just say thank you.
The culture. Peace.
Thanks for listening to the Culture Podcast.
We hope you enjoyed today's episode.
For more info and updates, connect with us on our website, theculture.one, or on Facebook at The Culture Podcast 2020, or follow us on Twitter and YouTube at The Culture 2020.
I always follow them.
Please subscribe to the show and leave reviews and comments where you listen to podcasts.